It is 7:15. Kyle, we're all set?
Yes.
Kyle, we're recording?
Yep.
Thank you. Okay. The May 11th, 2020 meeting of the Yarmouth Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee is about to convene. As a precautionary measure to reduce the spread of coronavirus, all town buildings are closed to the public. Therefore, this meeting is being held by remote participation. My name is Beth Fozella, and I will be moderating this virtual meeting. I will now turn it over to the chair of the committee.
Good evening. My name is Richard Gegenwath, and I'm the chairman of the Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee. And I will begin by taking a roll call so this we see if we have a quorum. Bob Wilkins,
I'm here.
Jane Hildebrand,
Here.
Rosemary Nichols,
Here.
Paula Morrison,
Here.
John Stewart is absent, and Dawn Marie Fleet.
But is absent.
So Paula Morrison, who sometimes is an alternate, she will be a voting member this evening, take the place of John Stewart. So we have a quorum and we begin. It's about 7:17, and I'll ask the moderator to explain how we're going to do this remote participation so it works smoothly. Please, Beth.
Okay. Pursuant, what? Whoa. I don't know where that, did you guys hear that? I don't know where that's coming from. Okay. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Massachusetts Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 23rd, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Yarmouth Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance will be permitted in the proceedings as provided for in the order. Persons who would like to view this meeting while in progress may do so by joining this virtual meeting as an attendee or viewing the live feed on the Town of Yarmouth YouTube channel. You may also listen to the meeting by dialing into the number provided on the notice of meeting. We will also post a recording of this meeting on the town website as soon as we are able. Please be patient as we work to overcome any technological challenges that may arise during the virtual meeting. To reduce confusion during the meeting, all audience participants will be muted by the moderator. As participants are called upon to speak, they will be unmuted. Applicants will be asked to use the raise hand button or press *9 on their phone to identify themselves to the committee when prompted. The moderator will then unmute applicants when they are called upon to speak. Application materials will be made visible by the moderator only if asked to do so. During the portions of the hearing designated for public comment, the chair will ask if anyone in the audience has any questions or comments relating to the item being heard. Anyone wishing to speak can do so by using, again, the raise hand button within the virtual meeting or by pressing *9 on your phone to indicate that you would like to comment. Please wait for the moderator to recognize you before speaking. Members of the public who wish to provide comment will be asked to identify themselves for the public record by clearly stating their first and last name, as well as their affiliation to the item being heard. To ensure clear communications, we ask that you consider the following guidelines when speaking. Please do not use a speakerphone or Bluetooth device. Mute all background noises. Clearly state your name each and every time you speak. All committee votes must be roll call votes. After a motion is made and seconded, the chair will ask for a roll call vote. All motions, decisions, and conditions will be verbally read into the record. If it appears the meeting cannot or should not proceed, then the moderator will recommend that the chair request to continue the hearing to a later date and time, or until public meetings can resume normally. We thank you all in advance for your patience and your cooperation. The committee chair will now proceed with the hearing.
There are 3 new applications for certificates of appropriateness that we will hear this evening in the order that was listed on the agenda. Please be reminded that our committee's main purpose is to review items for appropriateness and setting, and it's the responsibility of the applicant to comply with regulations of other town boards, departments, including building, conservation, engineering, health, zoning, and the sign inspector. You should know that there is a 10 calendar day appeal period starting once a decision is filed with the town clerk. Any person aggrieved by our decision tonight can appeal to the Regional Commission of the Old Kings Highway. Our office administrator will be happy to answer any questions you may have regarding this process. The first item is concerned with a small piece of a big project. At 124 German Hill Road, there's a large water tank. And atop the tank are antennas that were put up there years ago. And the water tank is a high spot. And so it makes for a good place to put cell phone antennas, et cetera, up there. And so this application is from Verizon, and they would be putting 3 antennas at the top, not on the top, but on the sides, up at the top, and covering a large area that way. There are 3 that are separated by about 100 degrees each, 120 degrees each. And at the base of the tower, there would be some electronic equipment, which is ends up looking like a big box, but it's waterproof and contains a lot of electronics. And to ensure the possibility of power failure, and this has to be operated 24/7, so a generator would kick in, which is supplied by a propane tank, and all that equipment is proposed to put it behind an 8-foot tall stockade fence. So that is what we are really addressing here, is the wooden fence. We had extensive information about this and different aspects of it, but what comes to us to be done is to look at the fencing and see if its appropriateness for this application. So is the gentleman from Verizon here to speak on this? Have any?
Carl, are you, oh, here he is. Carl, can you hear us?
I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me at all.
Yep, we
Yes.
can now. All right,
Okay,
you just state your name for the record.
can you see me at all though, or
No.
it's all just audio only?
It looks like it, yep. Attendees, I believe, are just audio.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, so good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Carl Gehring on behalf of Verizon Wireless, and I joined remotely from my colleague, David Bass, representing Verizon Wireless's real estate department. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so what I thought I'd do is just quickly, do you all have the 5-tab binder that I sent in? Does everyone have a hard copy of that?
No, Carl, let me just explain a couple of things. We're not doing anything hard copy right now. So I scanned the pertinent pages of this application and I made them available to the members. And the pages that we're mainly looking at today is just the fencing that goes around the equipment. So they have seen that, but they do not each have the binder in front of them. So I just want to make that clear. I can call up
Okay.
some of the
All right.
pages.
Well, so the gist of this is that, as Mr. Chairman, you pointed out, this water tank has been host to wireless facilities since 1989 that town of Yarmouth first installed on there. And then in 1998, Nextel put an installation on. Nextel came back in 2005 to add a generator. And then in 2013, Open Cape came before the town to add some antennas as well. So now here we are, we'll be the third. That Nextel installation, by the way, was taken over by Sprint. Sprint bought out Nextel, so they now control that. So now we've come along, and originally we had, so back in the day, Verizon used to always go with these little outdoor shelters, equipment shelters. And if you had seen the photographs I'd sent, there are some shelters up there now, gable end. And we don't propose that. That's what we used to do, but we're proposing now are these outdoor equipment cabinets, which can just be setting out to the weather. But Mr. Bass and I were discussing it and thought, you know, it would probably be more appropriate for two reasons, for security and for visibility, if we proposed a fence, because this tank, as you know, it's kind of off the beaten path up there. It's butting right along Route 6, heavily wooded around there. And we thought for security, we should propose a fence, and then also for visibility from a butter or a neighbor, we proposed when I noticed in your guidelines that you prefer to limit those to 6 feet. What I've been in discussions with Mr. Grill's office in the building department regarding the land use permitting of our application, and I questioned him when Mr. Bass and I were talking about a fence. You know, how high can we go without needing a zoning variance? And he said, I said I was suggesting 8 feet, and he said that's okay with this, as far as he goes, but we need to run that by the Old Kings Highway Committee. So that's why we're here, is because we think this, although it's an exception from what you normally grant, we think this would be an appropriate site for this. And I noticed in your guidelines you do allow that waiver. And I also noticed in 2008 there were, by coincidence, in February of 2008 you had two wireless items on your docket that night. One was for another water tank installation at 24 Old Hyannis Road. That didn't involve a fence, but another one was at 26 Gordon Lane. It was a power line attachment, but then that's where T-Mobile wanted to put an 8-foot fence around their equipment, and that was granted. So I thought, okay, there's been some precedent there that you would at least consider that. So we respectfully ask that you allow us to do the 8-foot fence. And I can see Beth put up the photos there of that sheet A3 that has the elevation of the fence, or the detailed fence. It's a wooden fence, 8 feet tall, alternated 1x6 slats alternated. So basically a solid type appearance. And that is what we were proposing respectfully.
Good. Good. Yeah.
Now, if you could, is there a way, Beth, you can rotate those photos? I don't know if she can hear me now.
I can. Oh, I can hear you. Yep.
Oh, yeah, okay. So so those photos, if you look if we can start with the first one there.
That one or this one?
Go back to the very beginning. Yeah, keep going.
That's
back.
it.
Oh, the other way then, I'm sorry. So
That's
that one
okay.
there, when you, if you can go, I'm trying to touch my screen to stop right there. That one there, as you're walking up to the site, as you're approaching the site, that's the view you'd see as you're heading back to where we intend to install. And that little shelter there is another one of the current tenants or occupants on the tower. And then the next photo is now looking back at where you just came from, back where we would be installing. And so in this vicinity, that other photo in the middle that has that big rock, that's the vicinity of where we'd be. That one right there, that's the general gist of where the site is located. So it's pretty remote. And you know, when we used to use these shelters, there was no issue with security or visibility for our equipment because it was all hidden inside. Well, now it's outdoor. And I gave you, by the way, way more specifications. If you can stop right there, Beth, that's the propane tank. Now that's not really going to be seen. You can scroll down a little bit. That propane tank is not really going to be seen from anywhere off site.
Oh, this here, right?
Yeah, typical propane. So I took the instructions literally where it said that you have to provide a complete application or it can be rejected for incompleteness. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm giving you way more than you need probably, but better be safe than sorry. So I gave you all the specifications of all our equipment, but most of it's hidden inside that compound we just looked at there, that fenced compound, which is another reason why we respectfully ask to be allowed to build 8 feet because the equipment cabinet goes up to about 7 feet. So a 6-foot fence would still have that thing sticking up above it.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea and a very reasonable request to exceed the normal height for the fence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it possible to go back to the, there we go.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
sorry.
no, I can. Do you need to
Who
go
is
back?
speaking? I'm sorry, I don't have everyone's voice down yet. Who?
Do you need to go back? This is Beth. Do you need to
No,
go back?
No, who was just speaking and concurring in that? I'm sorry, I didn't see the people
I
speak.
believe that was Rosemary.
Okay, yes, exactly. That's what we thought. So thank you for that. So it's very simple.
I have one question. We had gotten a letter. We had gotten a letter from, I think, Kingsway, or someone in Kingsway. And the problem is that their service up there hasn't been so great. They were wondering if this is going to affect it. And I would guess it is. Because Verizon has a lot of subscribers, and there are other companies that go on their shirt tails. And so what we're addressing is wooden fence, but it's to do the whole, in doing the whole job, I think the communication in this area in general is going to be quite a bit improved.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, what's happened in our industry is it used to be 25 years ago when I first got into this industry, you could have a tower every 5 miles or so, and there were fewer users on the line. And it used to be an analog signal back then, and then as it changed to digital and more subscribers got on the line, the network is densified where you need more sites now closer together. So this site is needed to fill in where if you're making a call or you're trying to get online when there's low network traffic, in the middle of the night or when there's nothing much happening, it's maybe not a problem. But if there's a lot of people trying to get on all at once, we keep having problems with service in this area. So we found this site. This is a perfect location for us because it's an existing structure, which the FCC prefers us to use existing structures where we can, and the town does as well, rather than build a new tower. So by adding antennas here, this will really help the whole region and help our network in that vicinity. And we really appreciate the support from the folks at Kingsway Trust up there.
Good. Well, I think that would satisfy everybody up there as well. So thank you.
Any other public comment? Please raise your hand or *9 on your phone. We have someone here.
Hello, this is Jean Clancy. I live on the water tower is in my backyard. I live in Debs Hill, 57 Mariah Drive.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
Yes.
we can.
Yes. Yes. So I was just wondering, how long is the fence? Because I can't see your diagram or your information. So how long is the fence? How big of an area? And also I wanted to know if you need to take any trees down to put the fence up.
No, it's a 16 by 18 rectangle, basically, that's going to just encompass and enclose in our little equipment area.
Yes. Okay. So I just
Small
wanted to be
rectangle.
certain you're not going to be taking any trees down, because we do, that's our backyard. That's what we look at.
And you're the reason why Mr. Bass, my colleague, Mr. Bass, suggested the fence, is we thought we ought to shield it from you guys.
Yeah, no, we see your equipment, and we know that sometimes vandalism can be an issue. So, but that's not a problem. We just wanted to know how long it was and if you needed to take any trees down.
Okay.
Oh, it's just gonna go around the.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, around the equipment. Okay.
Okay, we're fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments?
I had a feeling that's
Yeah.
what they were gonna do, but if you,
All right, I see two hands up. 40705, that's you, Carl, right?
I'm sorry, what?
The 508-414-0705.
Hi, that's me.
Okay,
My
I'm
name-
sorry. This is just confusing.
My name is
but bear with
Judy
us.
Tyler.
Okay,
you
Judy
hear me?
Tyler? Yes, Judy?
Yes,
Judy Tyler.
and I'm
Address?
at 59 Mariah Drive. So I'm right next to Jean, who just spoke. And basically, my questions were the same. I was concerned, would you be taking down any trees?
No,
Okay, so you will not be cutting down any trees.
no, the
And it
area
looks
is,
like,
The photograph
ahead.
shows
Carl, you can go ahead and speak, Carl.
if you look on the plans, there's the engineers have drawn for the extent of existing tree vegetation around there, that sort of squiggly line, and we're inside that, closer to the tank. The water department doesn't want us right up next to the tank, because they have to be able to get in there and paint it and all that. So we're set a little bit away, but not so far away that we're into the woods and all. We're in the cleared, the area's already cleared. If you go back to that photo with that big rock, that's to the vicinity of where we're going.
Okay, and this is going to be a solid wooden fence, 8 feet tall.
That's
it
right.
looks like wooden batten.
Yeah, alternating.
Okay, what
that.
color is the fence going to be?
We're just gonna let it weather out natural.
Okay. And when do you think you'll be doing this?
That, I don't know. I've gotten in trouble before speaking on behalf of construction. I can't comment on that. We have to still go through land use permitting, get a building permit and all that. This is our first stop right here with the historic folks.
Okay.
Good. Okay,
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judy,
well, I'd entertain a motion on this.
anyone else have anything to say out in the public? Raise your hand or *9 on your phone. Nope, you're good to go, Mr. Chairman.
So, do I have a motion,
I'll move to approve.
I second.
all in favor?
Oh, you have to do a roll call.
I have to do a roll call, yeah. Bob,
Aye.
Jane,
Aye.
Rosemary,
Aye.
Paula,
Aye.
good, okay. So, the ayes have it, and mine is aye, so 5 ayes. So it passes, and as was stated, it'll take a while to go through the rest of the permitting and construction in these COVID-19 times tends to be a little slow. So I don't think you'd see this starting for a couple of months. Good. We'll move on to the next item.
Carl, are you still there, Carl?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, there's just one thing we do have to ask, that if you make any changes to the fencing plan, that you'll just come back to us before you begin.
Okay. All right,
Okay?
well, thank you very much for your time, everyone. Enjoy your evening.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Good.
All right.
Okay. So this item is concerned with roofing shingles on a house at 56 Route 6A. The homeowners are Matthew and Lindsay Teague. And the house at the present time has red cedar shingles. And the application requests to go to black asphalt shingles, but they're not just plain black. So if Matthew is online, maybe he can explain a little bit. Or Lindsay.
Matthew?
Hello. Yep, I'm here.
Okay, just state your name, Matthew.
Yep, this is Matthew Teague.
So these are not jet black, right?
These are what's called more black. There's a little bit of gray in them, and
Uh-huh.
this roof already have the same color.
Yeah, I guess the garage section has
Did it work?
similar shingles.
Yep.
Good.
You can always listen to my.
Yeah, I remember a while back, you came in, you were putting shutters on the house and so on.
Yep.
Yeah,
So this is the third phase. I've got the other two buildings completed, and I want to do the main house now. Just
Good.
as really a section of the main house.
Okay. Good. Any other comments from members?
Public?
We've driven by this house a million times, right on the bend.
Anyone in the public have questions? Tim? Tim? Tim, can you hear us?
Looks like we half a dozen.
Let me unmute it. Yes, there's this gentleman, Tim raised his hand. He has a question, but
Yep, can you hear me?
yes, Tim. You have a
Just
question on this application?
not a question, but it's a point of understanding. We're getting a lot of feedback, and I was wondering if whoever is not talking can mute their line.
Yeah, we're getting feedback too. Someone has
Yep.
their volume up pretty high, so can everybody just mute?
Right, thank you.
And then when you want to speak, just, you can unmute.
Yeah, there's a lot of chatter in the back.
All right, there we go. Someone I think just had their volume up pretty high, so it's okay now. Okay, so does anyone else from the public have any comments to make about this application? Raise your hand or *9. Nope.
Sounds quiet. Okay, so do we have a motion to approve
I'd like
on
to make
this?
a comment, if I may, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
good.
So I assume that this is being done out of a consideration for maintenance rather than as an aesthetic matter. Would I be correct?
Well, half the rear, what you don't see is the rear of the house already has that color shingles on it. That was done prior to me purchasing of it.
Right, but my specific question is that, or it's an assumption on my part, you're doing this for maintenance reasons, correct?
Yes. What would there be another reason?
Well, you have an aesthetic preference. That would be the only other reason I can think of.
Well, yep. Well, no, no, it's made that front roof has run its course. The shingles are starting to fall off. So
Yeah. No, I understand. I get it. I just think it's regrettable to lose these beautiful cedar shingle roofs along 6A, but it's not enough of an issue of me to stand in the way of the change because I do understand what the motivation is. I just wanted to get that statement in the record.
and I'll make a statement. I've been in front of the board hundreds of times on projects, across the Cape, and I do think the town should consider some sort of, if there was a fund available for some low cost, money to help repair some of these old houses, but it's difficult, and the cost of red cedars is through the roof. So
No, I'm not unsympathetic with your position. I just felt it important for myself to get my opinion on the record. But I'm not standing in the way of your
Great.
your
Thank you.
project. Okay.
Good. Okay. Any other comments from the members?
I think it's you that's giving the feedback.
Me?
I think, because when everyone else is muted and you speak. All right, well. Again, apologize for the technical difficulties. I'm unmuting everybody right now. Okay. All right, Richard, I'm sorry, you can continue.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
I'd move to approve.
Second.
Okay.
So, oops,
motion
move
made
to
and-
approve. Yeah, could you just say the names of who motioned and who approved?
Okay, so this is Paula. I move to approve.
This is Jane, I second.
Thank you.
All in,
Roll call.
Richard? Jane?
Jane, you're muted.
Aye.
Paula?
Aye.
And Bob?
Aye.
Okay. we have
Rosemary?
unanimous in my own.
Rosemary says aye.
I'm sorry. Rosemary.
Okay.
You're not on the top of my line here. Good. Okay, we will move on to the next item.
Well, back up. Matt, you're still here?
Yes.
Okay. And again, I just need to be sure that you're aware if you make any changes to the color or the style of roof, you'll come through Old Kings Highway before you proceed.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll see you.
Okay. Right. All right. So the last item here is at 80 Mayflower Terrace. At our previous meeting, we gave approval to.
Can I just stop you there for a second, Richard? Is everyone hearing this feedback?
Yes.
Does someone have two speakers going, or is their audio really loud? Their speaker really loud?
It sounds like
Why don't we
they're
shut
watching
off one at a
television.
time? Shut
Somebody's
off one at a
watching
time and see if it
television.
makes a
I just
difference.
muted mine. It's not me.
Okay, yeah.
All right, I'll mute mine.
No,
We're all muted.
okay, Richard, you can continue.
Okay. So at 80 Mayflower Terrace, at the previous meeting, we voted to allow the demolition of the existing structure, which was badly damaged in a fire a year or more ago. And this application tonight is to replace that with a house on the same footprint. And the homeowner is Janet Gilmore and David Duval is the agent. And I think David is probably here tonight and perhaps Janet also. So do we have anything to say from the agent?
Yes, hello.
David?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, there he is.
Okay. Hello, this is David Dovell. Good evening, everyone. I was unmuted, so that background noise was not from here. So yes, as you had said, if the house was burnt and the owner would like to build the house in the same footprint, we're going to use the same footprint, same amount of bedrooms. It's a 3-bedroom dwelling. The only thing really that we're saving are the shutters that she painted with her niece. So she wanted to reuse those. We redid when I first submitted, Beth made some comments, and then I redid the elevations according to what she had said that you might prefer more, gave them to the owner and she approved of them, and that's what we're now currently using. So we did already modify the elevations. I guess that's mainly all I have to say. If you want me to go over all the other details, or I can do that if you wish.
I had a question of what the pitch of the roof is on these.
It's a 712.
7, okay.
Yeah.
Good. Because the house was originally built in 1948, I believe.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
And at that time, Old Kings Highway didn't exist. And a lot of houses prior to 1973 are more of a ranch style with like 4-inch pitches. And I wasn't sure what this was, so.
Yes, I know you like the 712, so we made the roofs the 712.
Good.
Yeah.
It may have been less earlier from the pictures, but I didn't try to
Right. It
scale
was,
it off the pictures.
it was a lot less in the back.
Yeah.
It was like, maybe a 312 or something like that.
Good.
Yeah, yeah.
Good. I had a couple of comments. There's a lot of windows, some like 39 windows involved here. And the house is 1,600 square feet on the first floor, and apparently only about 680, I think, square feet in the basement. And there are enough windows for a 4,000 square foot house. And if they use the house at all in the winter, they're going to have one hell of a heating bill. And I'm not sure what in New York State, where I used to live and do engineering as a professional engineer, there were regulations on glass area, and this would violate. The reason is they want enough glass area for light and ventilation, but not so much that the heat requirement's excessive. And it's not exactly replacing either. If you look at the back elevation, there's 5 windows grouped where at the present time there are, I think, 3 windows separated by concrete, because this is the basement and it's a concrete walls for the foundation. And so you'll be taking all that support out and having to put a header across there for the whole thing to hold the house up. So, and the other reason is now, why do you have so much window area in an area that's only 600 square feet and unfinished according to the assessor's listing? It's kind of weird.
So we added the glass. I do want to mention that the area is not to be heated. And then we mainly just added the glass just to give the light, into the basement, but that is not a heated area. And I would
Well, you need 5 windows like that to give a light?
I went with the 5 because below it are the flood vents, and they worked out perfectly with the flood vents. The flood vents, I have to install that many flood vents. They have to be installed at the basement floor, and they worked out real nice actually in that spot with those windows. So that was kind of, one reason, besides, from that direction, they can see the water, even though it's a basement. It's a walkout basement, but it will not be heated and it's not used for living.
That'd be hard to believe, frankly.
Yeah.
The other thing is some of the other windows above that group of 5, there's a single window, which is in a bathroom.
Yes.
It's a 5-foot tall window. So if you step out of the shower, which is right next to it, you're completely exposed. And I know there's a lake behind you, but it's kind of excessive, Most bathrooms don't have full windows like that. They put in like a warning window.
Richard, the reason why I did that was she liked the taller window, which is the picture window in the bedroom. So then I matched it. But also that window lines up with the hallway, so that would bring light all the way into the den area, because it's like straight across.
But the den area has a huge picture window.
Yeah.
the side view,
Yep,
there's a big,
that is correct. That is correct, yes.
so you really don't need any light coming from the bathroom. The other is in the bedrooms also have a lot of excessive windows.
Mr. Chairman, could I interrupt for a minute? Beth, could you put the correct drawings up for us so we are all on the same
You
page?
can't see these?
Well, I'm not sure what we're talking about because we're jumping around from elevation to
Oh,
elevation.
he's talking about this elevation here with
This
all these
rear
windows.
elevation, which this is the only elevation, the side elevations are the ones that were modified, correct?
Well, this is all
The rear
modified.
elevation and the front elevation have not been changed from the original drawings. Am I right about that?
No, yes, they have been changed.
Yeah,
Yes, they have.
Okay, so I just want to make sure we're all on the same page and looking at the right drawings because there was a different set of drawings
Yes,
initially, and now we've modified the fenestration. So it's just when we're talking without looking at the drawing that's germane to the discussion, it's very difficult to keep track of what the chairman's points are.
Okay,
So-
this one here is the revised. Do you want to see the original?
No,
Okay,
Yes.
I'm not showing, yeah, this is the revised. You'll see here, I have a little R. You can't hardly see it, but
okay, so the current discussion is having to do with this window here that you've got the pointer at, Beth?
this one
This
here
this is the
is
bathroom.
what
Okay.
Richard's talking about. Mhm.
Yeah,
And then he's talking about
And
these
then you're
here.
concerned about the battery of windows down at the basement level, is that?
right. I mean, this is an unused area. This is all an unused area. You look at the hotel, but it's unused.
Right.
Richard,
Your concern is about energy efficiency, Richard?
Yes,
Okay, but since it faces the water, the aesthetics, I won't say that the aesthetics are inconsequential because I suppose we could argue that the water is a public way, I guess, but the aesthetics are less important on the back specifically because it faces the water.
sure.
Okay,
Water is not a public way anymore, if you recall.
Right,
We have,
okay.
yep.
all right. So in essence, I'm not saying we have no governance over the rear of this structure, but the question of the aesthetics on the back of the structure, which is not visible from a public way, are somewhat moot. Wouldn't you agree?
True. But
Okay.
I think he may have trouble when he gets to the building department
Well,
because
that's
they're
up to
going to
the
be concerned with energy.
Right. Well, that's up for them to decide. So, I mean, I agree with you that that's a lot of windows, and from an aesthetic perspective, I'm talking about the basement windows now. I'm not talking
Right.
about up on the living space area. It leaves something to be desired, but I'm concerned that we're sort of overstepping our bounds and criticizing it because it's not visible from a public way.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, there's two windows over here too. And from the side. There's two,
I do
so
think
this
that
area is flooded with light.
I'm sorry.
There's another two windows over here
On which elevation, Richard?
on the right side elevation.
Here,
Yeah, these are in that area.
these?
Yep. Where you have 5.
But this is
Mhm.
such a big improvement over the original design. I think the side elevations from an aesthetic perspective have been radically improved with the new
Yeah.
design. And there is a balance here, a vertical balance at least.
Right.
And I understand the short window because of the topography is you've got the ground level interrupting what would ordinarily create a match between those two windows left and right.
Yeah, and similarly on the rear, if you had two windows under the picture window and one under the bathroom,
Which elevation are we talking about now?
Here,
The back elevation?
the rear back elevation, if you put a window here and two windows under the picture
Oh,
window,
here.
yeah, it's quite adequate. And it gives you some
Richard, I agree with you, but I come back to my original point is it germane since it's not viewable from a public way? That's my question.
Right.
Could we look at the other side elevation for a minute, Beth? The left side elevation?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Now, the left side elevation is a sliding glass door.
Mhm.
Implies that the ground level is at the base of the door. But on back elevation, you have the short windows, which imply that there's a bank of dirt up against the house. So where is the ground level going to be under this bank of 9, was it 4, 8 windows?
And if it helps, we could take some of those windows out from the basement.
Where would the ground level be, Dave?
Could you say that again, please?
You know, I'm looking at the back elevation, the ground level is lower on the left side than the right side. But nevertheless, there's a sliding glass door on the left elevation. Yeah, is it? You got it there.
It's like right here.
Yes. That's where there currently is a door there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from there,
Are we concerned at all about these basement windows? Can everyone see where I'm pointing? Oops,
No.
Side elevation?
On the
Let's go-
side elevation,
Yeah,
here?
okay, this one, yes, the left, this side elevation. These windows that Beth was pointing at aren't in alignment with the windows above. See, this is something that's visible from a public way, so I have more concern for this than I do for the rear elevation, even though I think from an aesthetic point of view, Richard's absolutely right that the rear elevation is problematical, the most problematical of all. But I've already covered why I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on what's visible from the public way. I think it would be, if these were balanced vertically with the windows above, I think that would be a pleasant modification and easy to do.
there's another question where the staircase is. The staircase drawn on the left side elevation looks like you step out the door and you have this long route which ends at the sliding glass door. See what I mean?
There is space for like a landing, if that's what you mean, after the.
There's no landing, you just step out the door.
Yes, you'd step out into the ground, yes.
You're gonna have trouble with the building department for this one. Because you really should have a landing and then the staircase come down and it would be right in front of the sliding glass door.
Well, the ground level is the landing. The building requires an 8-inch from the, of concrete to show. So it is a 8-inch step. And I mean, that could be done in brick or a concrete. So it's a, a nice flat surface.
Yeah, but at the top of the staircase, on the first floor.
On,
So it goes right to the door.
oh, this?
Yeah.
No,
That's, yeah, when you get, there's a deck there. And then you would step up to that door. That's a 6-inch step from the deck to the door. Up to the floor.
No, the side elevation is wrong. There's this side elevation here, see that? The staircase comes right up to the door where you step out the door.
No, there's an alcove in there. If you look in the floor plan, there's a 6-foot alcove. You can't see it because it's an alcove. On the floor plan,
So this door is set back.
yes, correct, 6 feet, yes.
Okay.
Yep. I can change the,
You can't get on the deck from there, right? You have to go inside the house to come down.
say that again, please?
You'd have to, if you were out on the deck, you have to go in the sliding glass doors way over on the right side. There's 12-foot sliding glass doors. You have to go in there. You can't go down the steps until you go into the house and come out that setback.
If you look at the floor plan, you can go out the slider and then walk across the deck and then down the stairs.
Yeah, I don't have the floor plan.
Oh, you don't?
I didn't print
You
it
have
out.
it.
It's a,
There we go.
okay, there it is.
Okay. So,
wait, let me get it.
All right.
Okay, so, yeah. This, where it says 12'10" on the left side, left back.
this comes all the way back here.
Yeah, and then you would walk across where the arrow is and then down the stairs.
Okay, so here you go.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it now.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's just an alcove, so I couldn't draw it because it was an alcove.
Yep.
Yep. Good. Yeah, sometimes a dotted line on the side elevation to show that.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. That's all the questions I have.
I'd like to go back to my question about the basement windows on that side elevation. I believe it's the right side elevation.
Right.
Left.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm talking about, well, I was talking about the left side.
I'll find it.
Okay.
Yeah, the left side.
Can we bring this array of windows into harmony somehow?
Yes,
Okay.
I can make them both match. The
Yes, you
bottom
do.
match the top, or the top match the bottom.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Could we take a quick look at the front elevation before we sign off on it? Okay, all right, I've seen it. I think I'm done with my comments.
And the front elevation all has short windows
Oops. I just-
because these are like laundry rooms and bathrooms and then one bedroom.
So Paula wants to weigh in.
Oh, Paula, unmute yourself, Paula.
All right. Just a minor thing. If we go to the back elevation,
Whoop, hold on, let me go back.
okay. Just to Richard's point, and I know you can't see this from the street, but I think just looking at those 5 windows on the bottom, I think if you took the middle one out, that would make it look nicer. And as far as the bathroom window, that one right there, I have 2 windows in the bathroom that are that size, and the bottom window has a frosted glass to it. So you can do that with these full windows and achieve the privacy that you mentioned, Richard. But it's all in the back, so it's moot. I just thought I would throw that in because I have the regular size windows and I put the frosted panes of glass on the bottom of the window.
Yeah.
And, but they are looking out at the lake and they might not want a clouded pane of glass. But again, I agree with Robert, that it's in the back and I'm done.
Yeah, one of the reason I'm so uptight about windows and bathrooms, when I lived up in New York on top of a hill, they built a beautiful house overlooking the great view. It had like a 20-mile view. And I walked my dog one night. It was cold, and the lady was in the bathroom facing the road. And I got to the top of the hill to take a view of the 20-mile view I had. And she got out of the bathroom with a frosted window, which was steamed over, and it was no longer a frosted window. So it entertained everybody on the street.
But was that on the road?
Yes,
Okay, I'm gonna just stop the share first. We do have someone with their hand up, so when, just to let you know, just that there is someone else out there with their hand up when the time comes for public comment.
I mean, I don't think the owners would mind changing some of the windows in the back. They're more interested in, just being able to build a house. So
right.
if we had to delete some of the windows in the back, I don't think they would mind, if you believe that would make it look better, then I'm sure they don't mind doing that. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think from an aesthetic point of view, fewer basement windows on the rear elevation and more in line with what's above would be preferable. But as I've said twice before, and I'll repeat a third time, I think that's entirely up to you and the owners.
Yeah. Well, again, my interest to represent them is I know she's anxious to get going. So, and I'm sure she wouldn't mind changing the windows and having less windows in there. That would, if that's what everyone would like. So, this is, I guess, the best way I could say it. If we want to change those 5 windows to something else, or that long bank of windows, we could change that. And then we already said we could do the left side to match the basement and the top, and that would look better.
Yes.
Yeah. So then we're just left with the back to put in less windows at the basement level, which we can do.
Okay. So,
I mean, instead of the 5 windows, we could go with 3 or 4. And if we blow the slider instead of the 4, we could go with 2 or 3, something like that.
good.
Mr. Chairman, do you want to make that as a modification or just that?
Addendum. We used to make out these little sheets.
No, I know, but my question is,
Yeah,
Bob, help me out here.
that's my question too. Do we
Right.
need to amend the application, Richard?
Yeah,
Or
that's,
is it owner's preference?
Well, I think we need to amend the application on the side elevation.
The left side.
elevation.
and the rear elevation. He said he agreed to that.
So why don't we make the 2 top ones the width to match the 2 bottom ones on the left side?
Yep.
That sound okay?
Can we get back to the pic?
Hold on, let me open up my share again. And then just a reminder, now we have 2 people with hands up for questions. So let me go back to the share screen first of all. And we want to go to this
There you go.
elevation,
There you go.
correct?
Right.
And you're talking about,
Making the windows at the top less in width to match the ones at the basement.
Exactly. So in other words, the left sideline of the main story window, the casing those are in alignment. The inside casing edges are in alignment. We want to pull the outside casing alignment so that the basement windows, we want to pull the outside casing so that they're also in alignment. So they
Okay.
match.
Yes, we can do that.
So you understand the point?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm still on.
Richard, what, you're on?
Okay, because I have a Zoom screen, it's white, the whole screen.
You can click on the grid at the top. Do you have a grid that you can click on that?
Launch.
You're not seeing this left side elevation, Richard?
I don't see anything. The whole screen is basically white.
Let me stop the share for a moment. Can you see us now? Are you white again?
Yep, it's not changing. I've tried several things. Oh, we'll continue that. As long as you can hear me, I can hear you guys.
Do you want to hear what the, I don't know if you're a butters or what, but do you want to hear what the attendees have to say and what questions they may have?
Yeah,
Okay. Jill Penna? Jill?
Yep, actually, it's Christopher Penna, her husband. I'm signed in on her account.
Okay, Christopher, what's your address, Christopher?
83 Mayflower Terrace.
Okay,
So, are we good?
you're good.
Okay, so I got a couple questions, issues, whatever. So we're taking down this house. Does that mean we're getting a new foundation underneath it? Just as a question, we are. So does that mean we got to hit all the new standards for today?
Wait a minute, I can't hear that. Excuse me. Hold on, I need to mute some people. We're getting major feedback.
yeah.
All right.
Let me mute.
Okay.
Yes, there will be a full foundation.
New foundation.
Yes,
Right?
correct. Yes.
All right. So we have to hit standards of today. Like they're 3 feet off the property or 4 feet off of Tim's house across the street.
Yes,
So those side windows we were just talking about,
yes.
they would need a firewall over there, which means they can't have any windows because they're within 4 feet. But if they have to hit new standards, the whole foundation has to move over to be 10 feet off the line, correct?
Still have to talk to the building inspector about that. What I saw on the residential building code, it's 5 feet. However, it doesn't say 5 feet from the structure or from a fence, from a lot line. It just says 5 feet.
So
So
that would be
that's still-
from a lot line though, right?
I
mean,
think
that's
it's-
how, I mean, that's
it's
how I
usually-
would get.
it's usually from a structure because that's what would go on, that's
Well, the
what,
other structure wouldn't be 5 feet off of the line either. It should be 10 feet off of both sides. So the reason why I'm asking is the whole windows on the side of the house, that's a mute point if you have to put up a firewall, which means they can't have any windows up on that side of the house. I watched that fire happen with Dave. We happened to be there together. The fire was coming out that side of the house. I don't want to see Tim's house get burned down, number one. And I'd like to see everything put up to code if
Yeah.
possible. And second of all, Richard's right on the money. I believe that they have a person who's going to live in that basement eventually. So, which is why they're doing all the windows. So,
I mean, I also live down the street and I was there when there was the fire also.
yeah, I know, we were there together on that one.
Um,
So my question is, I want to know if the foundation is going to move, are we going to move the whole entire house over so it meets today's standards? And if not, then they should not have any windows on that side of the house because they would need a firewall. Because
If
it's
I might,
right on the lot line.
if I might interject here.
Yep.
It's not something that the Old Kings Highway Committee gets into, is when David goes to the building department,
Yeah,
and if he needs to change where the house is going to sit, then he will need to come back.
Okay, so the
David, I don't
window-
know if you've been to the building department yet, because it's my vague understanding that you're going to need, because you're putting in a new foundation, that you're going to need to go and get some relief or something from the Board of Appeals. So you have a ways to go, I think, even before this the design is even complete. You might even have to change it. I don't know. I'm just saying that there has been some question that my brief discussions with the building department concerned that the structure is 3 feet from the lot line. And
Okay,
I think you need to go to Board of Appeals, but you need to talk to Mark Grills about that first.
so
Yeah.
really, we don't get anywhere tonight on this just because of it. We have to go to them first now before this. Is why I'm asking.
Who's speaking, Jill,
Not Chip-
Christopher?
Yeah, Chris.
Well, David, it's David that would have to do, yeah, right. David, you're
Okay.
there, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you definitely have to go talk to the building department and he'll direct you what your next step will be, which will most likely be the zoning board.
Right.
Okay.
I did talk to Timothy next door, and I did write a letter, and I was just waiting for his response.
Tim
If-
Waite is actually here. Want me to put him
if
in?
If you like, I could read this letter out loud.
Is it from Tim Waite?
No, it's my letter that I want to send to the building commissioner about this issue, but I know it doesn't really relate with his
It
service.
doesn't pertain to Old Kings Highway, so
I am trying to, do the right thing. I am concerned also, of course, because nobody wants somebody else's house to be, catch on fire. So, and also, even no matter what, I'm going to fire code that wall, no matter what.
I know Dave, and I know Dave will do the right thing or whatever else. Dave's a good guy. He's a great guy. I just want to make sure that, everybody's on the same page, if they're
Yes.
firewall, I want that firewall. We've actually talked about it once a little bit ago.
Yes.
I want to make sure if it stays there, then there can't be a window on that side of the house. I mean, it's just a danger.
well, the building department obviously would catch that because they're the ones who enforce building code.
Okay.
So that would be the building
I know,
department
but you
and
guys were
framing
talking
and
about the
everything.
windows, which is what brought it up.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna let Tim in if no one minds, just so that he might have some of these same concerns. So if you hold on one sec. Tim, is this Tim Waite?
Yes, Beth, it's Tim Waits.
Hi, Tim.
And thank
Sorry
you.
I made you wait so long.
No, you're fine. And thank you for the board for clarifying the static that we were hearing. My guess is one of you is on a phone that is feeding back into your computer. And Robert, if I had to guess, it was you. You might be at the party. No?
It's not me. Absolutely not. I would admit it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Okay, do you have questions regarding this application?
yeah, similar. So I want to make sure that I heard Dave correctly, that the basement is not used for occupation. And so that would mean there's no couches or beds or there's no heating down there. I just want to make sure I heard that correctly.
That is absolutely correct. That can only legally be used as storage. And, in my contract, there's no heat or anything in there.
Yeah.
I know that the owner, she's an artist and she does like to paint, and she was talking about painting down there, and that's why she liked the glass and it's facing the water, which makes sense.
Sure.
But as far as the code goes, you can only use that for storage. Now, unless they change the code, that's all you can use it for, the entire basement. And
Great.
so, and that's what I'm putting on the plans as.
Yep.
Yes, there's a lot of glass, but yes, they do have something to see. And now we're talking about changing and making less glass for the look, because and they want to apply to that. And they also want to apply to moving the house. She wants to move the house. It depends on what's involved, and I have that in the letter that I can get you a copy of the letter, and I'll modify the letter as you request before I send it to him. Because
I'd like to see that letter.
He's a busy guy, and I want to know exactly what I'm going to tell him, because he's doing a whole town, not just, he's a busy guy. So I don't want to.
Dave, Dave, we're all busy, and I'll have to check my spam folder for the letter because I haven't seen it yet. And-
Really? Oh, I did send it.
Yeah, no, I believe you.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
probably in the spam folder. And I did take the advice of the town last meeting. Dave did meet with me, and I do appreciate that. And trust me, we all want to see this house be built and all that stuff. My other point is that 3 feet off the line. it doesn't make sense to me that we're able to build that. I know it's out there already, so I don't want to go over it. It's my understanding that it's a firewall without windows, and it would have to be built that way. So that I'll just throw that out there. I got the answer about the basement, so there won't. It's not livable. It's for storage only. It sounds like.
Yeah.
That is correct. And I'm trying to get this, and I'll get you a letter to move it so it's 6.9 feet. And I think the inspector will go for it, but that's really up to him.
Well, 6'9" is still not gonna hold.
Honestly, it's really not even up to the building inspector. If it's not within building code, then you would still have to go to zoning, I believe, to get that, because he can't just override zoning, so.
It's
There's more discussion to be had with building before you move forward.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it's a pre-existing non-conforming is the key word.
I think it would be, and I'm just, from what I hear, that's if you didn't, I think that's if you weren't putting in a new foundation. I think because you're putting in a new foundation, and don't quote me, that's why we're always suggested to tell our residents or applicants to speak with the building department first, so that you don't have to keep coming back, to Old Kings Highway. You'll know right up front what it is that you can and can't do. So you really should have you met with Mark Grills yet?
No, but I'm ready.
Yeah, you really should sit with him with your site plan and go over it with him.
Yes. I will.
Yeah, that's my suggestion.
Yes, I do plan that.
So who knows? We may see you back here. Who knows? Or maybe not. Maybe this will work. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
See, I look at these things from an architect's point of view. And if I had a 6-foot fence 3 feet from the house, I wouldn't be interested in having windows to look out at the 6-foot fence. Because that's all there is there to look at. So I wouldn't put windows. What's the point? You could hang paintings on the inside. Good. Okay. So where are we now?
That's a good question.
So the left, on the left side, we changed the windows so the tops and bottoms match in the width.
Yes.
And that would be it for the left. And then in the back, we can put in less windows.
Yep.
And so on the bank 5, we could make it
3.
3.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and line them up with the ones above.
And line them up with the ones above. Okay.
Yeah, works perfect. And that's it. I guess.
And did you want to take more out of the back?
Yeah, Richard, what about the other array below the balcony?
Yeah, it's really questionable why you want so many windows there either.
You want to make the 2, there's a 2 windows and 2 windows into 1 window and 1 window.
That would be,
Okay.
yep.
But Beth, could you bring up that elevation
you
for us?
gotta give me a sec here. Okay. Whoops. All right, let's start over so we get it written down right. All right, so this side, you said you were going to align these windows and these windows.
Right.
Which basically would involve expanding the width of the basement windows so that the casement on the right side is in alignment with the outside casements are in alignment, vertical alignment.
Okay. All right, and then now what's the next view, the rear elevation?
Back.
You were talking about these?
Yes, we'll make that 3 windows.
So 2 under the picture window and 1 under the bathroom window?
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
So get rid of the 3rd and 4th window.
Yep.
And now, what do you propose, Richard, for under the balcony?
I've just commented there. It's a 2-in-1 arrangement. We basically drop out 2 windows.
Right now, the array of 4 on the far right is in alignment with the sliders above. So
Yeah.
really, are we talking about these 4 beside the staircase?
Yeah, I would take 2 out of there and line them with the picture window up above.
Okay,
Okay. So we're reducing the 4 to 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so overall, instead of 8, we'll have 6.
So when you say aligning the 2 that are going to be left in that array with the
Aligning
picture
them,
window
like, right
above,
here.
what specifically do you mean?
Will be centered, the
Right here.
mullion.
Yeah, those 2 windows, are you going to
Yeah.
separate them? Or are you going to balance
No.
them?
No, you can move.
Center them right here.
So in other
Slide 'em.
words, they would more or less be in alignment with the picture window without regard to the side lights? Is that
Yeah.
what we're,
Yeah.
is that what you mean? I
Yeah.
just want to be clear on what we're talking about.
Yeah, so the mullion at the middle is lined up with the center of the picture window.
Do you get it, Beth? I'm having a little trouble
I
hearing
can
you.
see it by taking, see these 2 windows I'm circling?
Mhm.
Let's say we're gonna move them over so that this line here
Yep.
aligns right here.
Great. Okay, got it.
Okay.
And then these, got it. Okay. So Beth, do you feel like you can write up the,
Yeah,
since I can't do it?
I can do that.
right. Okay.
We
So
have it
can I-
on recording as well.
Well, I'm sorry, what, Richard?
We have it on recording.
Okay, so are we at a point of a motion here?
Yeah,
Okay, I move to approve the application as amended.
Okay, with the left elevation, the aligning the first and second floor windows, or the
Right.
basement and the first floor windows.
Right, that would involve expanding the width of the basement.
Right, I'm just, right.
Okay,
I'll-
just want to make sure we're clear.
And then on the rear elevation, we're going to remove on the left side of the rear elevation, we're going to remove the 3rd and 4th window and align 2 of the windows under the picture window and 1
Yep.
window under the, actually, they're already lined up, so you'd really just have to
Yeah,
remove the
right.
3rd and 4th. And then over on the right, on the short windows, we're going to remove the 2 on the right, and then you're going to move over those 2 on the left to align under the picture window.
Perfect.
Got it.
okay. So do I have a second on that?
Paula, you
second it.
are muted.
I can't.
I
Jane,
think
did you
Rosemary
second that?
seconded.
I think Rosemary beat me to it.
Okay,
I did, but
all right, so I'm sorry, just to reiterate, Robert Wilkins
I moved.
motioned, and then Rosemary seconded.
Okay. So,
Roll call vote,
what? All in favor? We have Bob,
Aye.
Jane,
Aye.
Rosemary,
I,
Dawn, I'm sorry, Paula.
Aye.
Okay, so, and I for it.
okay. And David,
thank you
you
all.
still there? Yep, same thing. Any other, you can give me revised drawings if you wouldn't mind.
Okay,
And then any changes to those revised drawings, you'll come through Old Kings Highway if you need to before you make any changes.
yes. I will.
Okay,
Yes.
great. All right, thank you.
All right, well, thank you all.
Okay, so we have no minutes to review tonight. And is any other business?
I don't have anything, other than to ask if anyone would be, we are going to be holding remote Zoom meetings for the next month or two. So question would be, I know, Jane, we're keeping you up. See, it is late, isn't it? So question is, for these Zoom meetings, would anyone be interested in holding them anytime between 5:30 and 6:30 instead of 7:15?
Hmm.
I want you to think
vote no.
about it.
I vote no. I don't want.
I'd be
I don't
fine
want to
with
miss
that.
more daylight.
So here's the thing, you as a committee have to decide, and you need to motion and second and vote.
Yeah.
We're doing
The
this
problem
now.
is-
Yeah, because the next meeting is June 8th.
All right.
And I haven't advertised it yet, so.
Yeah, because we could get more applications, and then if we have it at, say, 5:30, we might end up going till 8 o'clock with no supper. So, we'll discuss in the next few days.
Well, you really need to discuss it like now, because I'm gonna be submitting you have to vote on it. So if
And the
you're not ready to.
recommendation is to have the meetings from 5:30, starting at 5:30?
No,
right?
anytime between, if you wanted to start anytime between 5:30 and 6 or 6:30. So have it start either at 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30,
I'm not really.
6:15.
I'd be fine with 6 or 6:30.
I am opposed. I don't really understand why this is any different from when we met down at Town Hall. Met at 7:15 at Town
Well,
Hall.
we
Why
were,
should it
we're
change?
trying to change that time to be earlier too.
Oh, you
We're
are?
like we're the only committee that really runs this late.
Well,
And so
for me,
it's, I've been
for me, it's-
asked,
Yeah, I think it's a seasonal consideration. We're at the.
it's difficult for me too, but
If-
I'm
I
just
don't
saying,
wanna
I'd
miss the
prefer
daylight.
earlier. I'd prefer
5:30 is like
6:30.
prime time for me to be outside. So I don't want to miss the daylight. That's my issue. If
It's
it were the
one
winter
day.
time,
It's
and
one
it was
day. It's 2
5:30,
days a
I'd
month.
say fine.
It's 2 days a month.
I'm opposed. That's all I'll say.
I would say 6:30.
I'd go with 6:30.
Okay. That would be okay, I guess.
Are we gonna vote? Because I want my vote registered.
I can't do earlier than 6:30.
7?
The only problem I'll have is.
I could go with 7.
It's not worth it to do
No.
7 if it's already 7:15.
Why don't we just keep it the way it is? It works. It's not broke. Why are we fixing it?
Yeah, the whole town is used to it.
But the whole town, right, all right, maybe they are. But I've been asked from town hall perspective also, to see if we can move up the meeting to be any earlier, because we're also taking time out of Kyle, who isn't even a member of the committee. He's helping us out with the Zoom meetings. And the IT people at town hall are it's now 8:30, so they're being held up as well. So let's just keep it out there then, think about it, and I'll put it on the agenda for the next meeting for June 8th to discuss start time of future meetings, okay?
Why don't we just decide now? I mean,
Well, it seems like you guys need to think about it.
Well,
I don't want to push it. I don't want to be the one, I don't want to push it. I'm sorry, Jane.
okay.
No, I think that as the summer goes along and we receive multiple applications, using this technology is not time friendly. So
Correct.
I like the idea of starting at 6:30 because we'll still probably go to 10:30. It just takes so much longer in this format. So if
Yep.
we have 8, 9 applications in an evening, we'll be online till 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Well, maybe we can adjust the time according to the workload. Why does it have to be the same time every time? As long as you
I'm just saying,
notify.
at least just for the remote meetings, because like Jane said, it is taking longer to get through them.
Well, right now,
And another thing too, I think, and this is my personal saying this, is that we need to be to the point with our not we. The committee needs to be to the point with questions and make sure they're relevant to what the
Do we
Okeechobee
need
Highway
to
purview
adjourn the
is.
meeting?
No, because this is all
Okay.
part of, I know, we should adjourn it, but it's part of
Yeah, I was
discussion, I
just gonna
know.
say, maybe we should adjourn before we continue this discussion.
All right, we can't make any votes or anything after we adjourn,
Well,
so,
maybe we shouldn't be making a vote.
right. Okay,
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Oh, Richard, you have to roll call.
yes.
Okay. Bob,
Aye.
Jane,
Aye.
Rosemary,
Aye.
and
Paula,
Paula Morrison.
aye. Aye, 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 aye.
Aye, aye,
Before you know it, you guys are gonna be 85 too.
aye.
Okay,
So-
so are we adjourned?
Yeah.
We're still